Daily is daily Vikings entertainment. We just want the Vikings to win a Super Bowl before we die.
I will ride with this group.
Seriously, man. Please.
And away we go.
Purple Daily is live at the Minnesota State Fair on the Minnesota Rusco Score North podcast stage. Yes, more paid actors here to make us feel good about ourselves. No, thank you to the audience. Man, this is day 4 here, and this is the first year of Score North when we were brand new, kind of pre-pandemic, 2019. We did come out here, but we were new and I don't know. No one knew what Purple Daily was or anything. It's just really cool to meet so many of the listeners of Purple Daily, Score North Twin Show. Tomorrow, Judd's Hockey Show will be out here. So we definitely feel the love from the audience, and hopefully we are giving you some value here on Purple Daily. Tons of Vikings news percolating that we are going to get into. Shout out to the Judd on a Stick. Do you have your Judd on a Stick here today?
I don't have one here.
I just saw someone have one.
Yeah,
there we go.
There we go.
There we go. Judd on a Stick.
Presented by Pronto Pup. Visit one of Pronto Pup's 8 different locations for the OG Pronto Pup. And also a shout out to Prize Picks presenting today's episode of Purple Daily. The easy way to play daily fantasy. And man, it's just a great intersection of multiple sports happening. Baseball season, you got regular season football on the horizon. College football just started. So you can mix and match. Right now, there's actually some season-long things here, too, like Patrick Mahomes, 4,025 passing yards. So you pick between... You're going
Under.
less on that, Dukes? You pick between 2 and 5 players, and you pick more or less on their projected stats, and you place your entry. Super easy. Download the Prize Picks app today and use the code PURPLEDAILY to get $50 in lineups when you play just $5. That's code PURPLEDAILY on Prize Picks to get $50 in lineups when you play just $5. Prize Picks, run your game. Darren Doogie Wolfson from the 5 Eyewitness News Sports Department.
Here's the money in my wallet. Thank you. You followed the script brilliantly.
Right.
How much money do I have, Judd?
Zero.
I'm
But you have
married.
receipts.
I have kids. 0 is the correct answer.
So there's so much right now, and we're going to be for 2 hours here. We are going to be monitoring. This is cut day in the NFL. There's all sorts of Vikings news and rumors floating around. But let's start by reacting to the first domino in this chain. Doogie, last night, the Vikings traded Mekhi Blackmon, 3rd-round pick cornerback from a couple years ago. They traded him to the Colts for a 6th-round draft pick. And that right there leaves the Vikings, including the 3 projected comp picks, with 11 draft picks for 2026. So let's start there, and then what are some other things percolating right now around the Vikings roster decisions?
Sure. Well, they finally have a 6th-round pick next April. So they had 10 prior to this move, but 0 6th-round picks. They now have a 6th-round pick.
Challenge completed.
In 2026. Feel bad for Mekhi because I like him. Every interaction I had with him was positive. The knee injury last July just derailed him. I mean, we're out there, especially you and I, Judd, every single day. We watch every single snap. It was clear as day that he wasn't even ahead of Zamaya Vaughn, who, by the way, as of 10 minutes ago, has not been told either way. On the 53, not on the 53. Dwight McLaughlin, then when thinking about the top 3 cornerbacks, Byron Murphy Jr., Isaiah Rodgers, Jeff Okudah. So Mekhi was below. So the fact that Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah, that front office, was able to net any sort of draft compensation is a win. Now, happy that Mekhi is reuniting with his guy Cam Bynum, so maybe he'll get a run there in Indianapolis. What also is percolating, Joe Huber, undrafted free agent. I tweeted this a couple hours ago, shameless plug. He is on the 53-man. Now, we all get that there's fluidity to the 53-man. We may be having a different conversation on Thursday, but right in this moment, the undrafted free agent offensive lineman out of the University of Wisconsin, Joe Huber, on the initial 53-man roster. The other surprising news in the last hour and a half, Gabe Murphy. I'm not sure he could have done anything more.
Pour one out.
Gabe Murphy
That's my guy.
is going to hit the waiver wire.
That's my guy. What happened there, by the way? I know he's my guy, and I'm a
too much talent.
Gabe Murphy propagandist,
too much talent.
You know, he's running. He's running with the ones at times during training camp practices the last couple of years. So
yeah,
that's an interesting one.
Let's go back to Mekhi Blackman because I think this is worth a conversation as well. He was obviously one of the picks that they made in the 2023 draft. And now, by the way, if they let Ty Chandler go, they're going to have 4 of 16 picks left from those 2 drafts. The Blackman one is interesting because he played in 15 games as a rookie. He had an interception. He had a pretty solid year for a rookie. He started 3 games.
Although the pick was a Hail Mary. It was a Jameis Winston.
Yeah.
Think about
Picks,
Jameis Winston, all the throws. Let me just toss it up there, right? That was Blackman's one interception.
Sure, but they played him quite a bit. They liked him.
Yes.
So he then tears his ACL on the first day of training camp 2024, misses the entire season. And I thought when he came back, actually not for training camp, but in the springtime for the workouts, I expected that he and Jeff Okudah would be battling for that outside corner spot when Byron Murphy Jr. moves inside in the nickel. Well, that never happened. And Blackman was on the second or third team, depending on how you want to characterize it, for the entirety of the offseason and camp. And the one thing I kept coming back to is I wonder if he also didn't, at the end of the day, now he was a Flores draft picker in the Flores era, but I wonder at the end of the day if he didn't fit the size specifications. Because they do want lankier, taller guys for the most part. But it did seem an interesting thing that Jeff Okudah, who certainly has had a spotty career, Dukes, been up and down, been hurt a lot, he might be hurt again right now, that he was just given that job with Mekhi Blackman being an afterthought. So something definitely changed, and you might be right. It might be the knee, but it also felt like the Vikings definitely had changed their tune about him because he never even got that shot to try to get that job back.
No, he did not. Now, on Okudah's health, I've not been told that there's anything to worry about.
Knew it.
But certainly in the next 24 to 48 hours, not only wide receiver, but we're all monitoring the available cornerbacks, the possibility of the Vikings making a move on a cornerback. Now, Rasul Douglas came off the board this morning, veteran cornerback, signed with the Miami Dolphins. I checked. Crickets. Now, Douglas's camp looked at the situation here with the Vikings and said, hey, my client would be a good fit there. You guys need a cornerback.
Yeah.
Well, the Vikings did not reciprocate that interest. That's what happens, right? Amari Cooper comes off the board in the last 24 hours, Las Vegas Raiders. If you're doing your job as an agent, you're reaching out to logical destinations just to see, just to have conversations with Kwesi, with Rob Brzezinski, with others in the Vikings front office. Gregson, certainly. And on Douglas, nothing. The Vikings had zero interest in Rasul Douglas, but I would not be shocked if they make a move. But, yeah, I thought Blackman would get a little bit more of an opportunity.
Yeah.
It never came. I guess the telltale sign was the fact that he played on Friday in Nashville. Like, when you're on the field Friday in Nashville, that told us plenty.
Yeah, just one more thought on the cornerback room here. It's one of the thinnest rooms in the league right now. So Byron Murphy Jr. is the only established high-end cornerback or even established full-season starting caliber cornerback in that room right now. And the rest is sort of projection. Isaiah Rodgers, you're projecting that he can go from being a really good rotational 400-snap guy to being a 1,000-snap guy. Okudah, you are projecting that he's not a bust, for one, and two, can become an actual starting caliber in the nickel cornerback. And then the other two guys on that depth chart right behind them are undrafted free agents with basically zero experience. So really, it just feels like there's something else happening there in the next 48 hours or the next 5 days or something.
I think there is, but they also will play 3 safeties a good amount. Whether that's Theo Jackson
Jay
or
Ward
times
has a little,
Jay Ward.
Yeah.
Now, Ward played on Friday. Correct me if I'm wrong. He was on the field on Friday. But they have a healthy opinion of Jay Ward. So there are going to be a number of times we look and say, okay, who are the 11 on the field? Yeah. There will be 3 safeties. So what exactly does that entail? Metellus playing more deep safety. I mean, he lost weight. I mean, Metellus told me he's down 5 to 7 pounds from this time last year with the idea that he's going to be asked to cover more ground. So, yes, I anticipate something to happen on the cornerback front, but let's keep in mind that 3 safeties will be on the field plenty.
Today's Purple Daily appearance at the Minnesota State Fair is presented in part by the Minnesota Renaissance Festival, running now through Sunday, September 28th. And wow, we have major breaking news. major
Big time.
breaking news in the
time.
National
You'll
Football
find out in a
League.
second. Don't worry about it.
What do you mean, don't worry about it? This is
Dukes was
major
like-
breaking
Duke-
news
Doogie
in the
was
National
excited.
I don't
Football
have my
League.
phone.
Big
Doogie
time
reached
news.
across to Mike.
Do you know what it is?
Yes, I do.
Do you think this is a cruel summer? Do you think this is a love story?
I think this is inappropriate.
Do you think this is a blank
today.
space?
I think this is an inappropriate day to do this.
I don't know. I think I know this all too well. You're
Yeah.
missing all my references, aren't you?
No, I know exactly what you're talking about because I know what happened. Anyway, I'm sorry, Phil.
Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift have announced their engagement on Instagram. That's right.
Yep.
That's right.
some oohs and
Travis
ahs.
Kelce and Taylor Swift are engaged
My
to be wed.
My wife just texted me. I'm sobbing.
Well,
I'm sobbing.
Travis Kelce has now made one of the most memorable days in his life, a day that many of his friends lost their job.
This is an NFL bloodbath today.
I'm so happy.
Half the players in training camps are being cut from their livelihoods today. And Travis and Taylor come in and say, doop-de-doo, let's hijack this day.
It's sort of like the poll ad saying, okay, we traded 10 guys. You guys weren't that mad. So you know what? We're not selling now.
So if you're annoyed that Taylor Swift is being shown on camera for 18 seconds per 3-hour Sunday Night Football, you're going to get plenty more of that. Congratulations to Taylor and Travis.
If I may say this, too, I'm not blaming her. This is Travis's thing because in the sense of...
Can you imagine if
she's
Travis Kelce played on the Vikings and Judd?
She's not losing,
Judd had to
but
deal
she's
with that.
not losing her friends. It's fine whenever. She's not doing anything wrong here. But of all the days to pick, it's like, oh, man, all my teammates are being cut. What should I do? Yeah, let's go ahead and announce the engagement.
The YouTube comments are not happy with us right now. Click that like button and the subscribe button on the Purple Daily YouTube channel. We will keep you posted on actual Vikings news as it comes in here. But that was the big trade from last night, Mekhi Blackmon for a 6th-round pick here. So, Doogie, you reported Joe Huber has earned a 53-man spot. So I will predict with great certainty that the Vikings are planning to keep 10 offensive linemen for now unless there's a trade. Maybe they trade away from that group of 10. I think Huber is the 10th, and unless there's some other thing going to happen there. But the Gabe Murphy thing that Tom Pelissero floated, you have that too, is fascinating. Let's turn our attention to the wide receiver situation for a second, if we could. They're going to add a wide receiver here. It would be shocking if they didn't. So the latest on Adam Thielen from Adam Schefter is that the Vikings and the Panthers continue to work out a trade. One of the Thielen family members, either Mrs. T or Adam, posted a photo of one of their children with a Minnesota-born T-shirt on Instagram this morning. So I think from what people are hearing, the Thielens would love to get back to Minnesota and finish Adam's career here. There is some steam that the Panthers are driving a hard bargain. A 3rd-round pick is what the bidding sounds like it starts at. But here's a wrench in the negotiations. There's 2 other receivers that have played really well in Kevin O'Connell's system that were waived this morning by their respective teams. So you wouldn't have to give up a draft pick for either one of these 2 guys. They're both younger than Adam Thielen. KJ Osborne was waived by the Commanders. And Robert Woods, who's 2 years younger than Adam Thielen, won a Super Bowl with the Rams, Kevin O'Connell offensive coordinator. He was waived this morning by the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Bucs waived Trey Palmer, who was a 6th-round pick out of Nebraska. And so that's another young, talented player to watch. But in terms of guys who can jump right in, who know the system really well and have played at a high level, Thielen via trade and or KJ Osborne, Robert Woods, signing for veteran minimum contracts are names to watch, I think.
And, Dukes, if I'm not mistaken, Robert Woods, though, is cut. So, because he's a veteran, so he does not have to clear the waiver process. So he could pick here. KJ Osborne would have to go through, and I'm sure he'll make it, through the waiver process, and Palmer would as well. So Robert Woods could just say, I mean, if Kevin O'Connell calls him and says, hey, you played basically for me, that would be a seamless transition here on a team that can win. Like, to me, if Robert Woods gets the call, if I'm him, I think I jump at the opportunity here.
I mean, he makes more sense to me than Thielen. I mean, his representation has an excellent relationship with the Vikings. I can promise you they're already eyeing the Vikings as a possibility, hoping that they can find a match. I don't know how much more Robert Woods has left. I feel like maybe he fell off the cliff like 2 years ago. Now, on KJ Osborne, he would have to clear waivers. Isn't he enough of a vested veteran where he would also instantly hit the market?
I thought he was...
Drew Rosenhaus climbed, by the way. We know Rosenhaus and the Vikings are in bed with any number of guys, Darisaw and Aaron Jones and Jonathan Grenard, Andrew Van Ginkel. So
Osborne is a
Rosenhaus
release.
and the Vikings have a great relationship.
Osborne's a release. He's a free agent.
Okay, so they're both free agents.
Yeah, I mean, he's a vested veteran, right? So he doesn't need to hit the waiver wire. On Thielen, we first brought this up March or April. I'm not sure it was a Purple Daily specific episode, but we brought up the idea that there's this understanding. It was after the rework deal, Thielen back in Carolina, that the Panthers would do Adam a solid if they're out of it at the trade deadline, so like late October. But right now, the idea all along has been Carolina. Now, they may be completely delusional, but the Carolina Panthers think they can make a legit playoff run.
Yeah.
And I guess I don't have enough intimate knowledge to suggest they're morons for thinking that. That division seemingly is pretty wide open. I'm not huge on Tampa. Maybe Tampa's the favorite, but they could make a run in the NFC South. But, like, right now, the Vikings would have to overpay to acquire Adam Thielen. And I get it. The Panthers have a bunch of receivers, but they're all young. There is value in having Adam there. Adam flew up Bryce Young, other Panthers teammates, about 4 to 5 weeks ago. They worked out at Woodbury High School. I'm just thinking, would Adam like to be back here? Of course. They didn't part on bad terms or anything like that, but does Adam do that on July 14th, thinking by August 26th he's going to be somewhere else? I just have a hard time believing that.
Yeah.
Like, to me, it's a day 2 pick. I have a hard time believing this trade gets across the finish line for a day 3 pick.
There's two things, too. So one is the draft pick, which they've been, asking for a 3rd-round pick, which is way too high. I mean, heck, a 4th-round pick is pushing your luck, in my opinion. But then the flip side to that also is the financials and the fact that the Panthers want the Vikings to take on a decent amount of that contract. Well, I'm not going to consider a 3rd or 4th-round pick and then pay a big part of the contract for a guy who is 35. To me,
but you do have $30 million in cap space. You can roll it over, and you're going to need some of that for next year. You're $50 million over.
But Woods makes more sense if you can just get him off the street now, as opposed to overpaying in draft compensation.
Tiny breaking news: Amaya Vaughn will be released. The Vikings do want him on the practice squad.
That's like fairly big news, because what is that cornerback room? So let's go
it's
back
what
to
we
Judge
said.
50. Can you pull
we
up your
anticipate
53?
a cornerback move coming, but text message: Amaya Vaughn will be released. The Vikings want him on the practice squad.
Okay.
Chance of being claimed, though.
So, but he was one of the premier undrafted free agent players at training camp. I thought with Mekhi Blackman's trade that kind of made Amaya Vaughn a lock. Now maybe they're looking more toward, like, has Ambry Thomas, he's a veteran. Has Ambry Thomas been released yet? Maybe they're looking to keep a veteran, but that is a room that is completely up in the air. Now, Asante Samuel Jr., whose name popped up via the Purple Daily Anonymous tip line several months ago, he was one of the premier cornerback free agents on the market, just 25 years old, missed a huge chunk of last season with kind of like a long-term stinger shoulder injury, had surgery in April to repair it. It's been a slow heal, and it's being reported now this morning. I think Jeremy Fowler from ESPN said he has another procedure or CT scan in October, and then he may look to sign for the second half of the year. So just if you're wondering what are the other options out there, he's the premier free agent still sitting out there for a reason. So
I mean,
take
it
his
makes
name off the list.
sense, right? Like, I've been asked a lot about Christian Wilkins. We know the Vikings chased him 16, 17 months ago, but what about the Vikings signing Christian Wilkins right now? He's not healthy.
Right.
Like, there's a reason why he's still available right this second.
Right.
Now, when he gets healthy, maybe. I mean, the Vikings love their interior defensive line depth. But I'm just saying, in this moment, no. Because I'm led to believe he's not all the way there health-wise. Yeah.
So Stephon Gilmore is still on his couch and has said that he wants to play for a team that has a chance. So he's got specifics. I would guess that he would be open to coming back here. That is not, as far as we know, been broached. But here's the other thing. Are we playing this all wrong? While we're all focused on Thielen, and are they getting these draft picks to pursue Thielen, and this is what they're going to do, I wonder if the reality is they, might be getting draft picks to pursue a receiver, but also a cornerback. Because to Phil's point, this room right now, your starters are Byron Murphy Jr., Isaiah Rodgers, and then because you're in the nickel so much, Jeff Okudah playing outside when Murphy goes inside. Mekhi Blackman is now gone. Dwight McLaughlin is still on the team, and I had him on my projected 53 making it. I had Zemiah Vaughn making it. He's not going to now, according to Doogie. And then the three that I had being cut were Keenan Garber, Reddy Stewart, and Ambry Thomas, which I don't think any of those guys flashed at all. So I wonder.
Ambry Thomas did have a wrapped-up, gifted interception in a preseason game, but yeah. In fairness to Ambry Thomas.
But I wonder if what we're looking at here is the potential where they will go out, or they are out right now trying to acquire a veteran cornerback, because I'll go back to it. The other thing we don't know is Jeff Okudah left practice a week ago Wednesday with a foot injury. Jeff Okudah's hurt a lot. So, that's not one where it's like, well, he's a warrior. He plays consistently. So I wonder if we've become so focused on the pursuit of Adam Thielen that we're missing part of the reason to get all these draft picks is to try to get a veteran corner in the room.
Noah, and I cannot pronounce his last name, Noah I, Washington Commanders. Was he officially released this morning?
Economic?
Auburn? Do I have the school right at least?
That I don't know.
I don't know. But somebody, an agent, texted me and said, hey, keep an eye on that.
Okay.
Nice.
Now, maybe that's reckless speculation here on a Tuesday, but that would be a name. But, yes, I mean, some corner, whether it's Noah I or someone else, I can't pronounce that name.
But a first-round pick of the Dolphins in 2020.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's up Quasey's alley. Go grab the first-round pick.
So Dolphins 2020, Flores connection.
To put, when was he drafted by the Dolphins?
2020.
Yeah, that's a Flores guy. Flores was 19
So I'm just
through
connecting
21.
some dots. So one of probably a few names to keep an eye on. But yes, the idea of them doing something cornerback-wise, I've not been told that Okudah's foot is something to worry about long term. But yes, I mean, he missed how many games last year with an injury? The one injury that I'm keeping there's a couple. Harrison Smith, I'm told, is fine. They're out there in Egan right now. We don't have access because I guess technically they're not practicing.
Yeah.
So if they have a walkthrough, they don't need to invite us reporters. But they're doing a bunch of stuff out at TCO Performance Center. I'm told Harrison Smith is fine. So it's two. It's Xavier Scott. See the number 3 running back ankle. So we heard that Tyler Batty after Friday's game was undergoing an MRI. I don't know if it was out there that Xavier Scott was also to undergo an MRI. And so there's some concern about Xavier Scott's ankle. So I don't have full clarity on that situation. But does that perhaps open the door for a Ty Chandler then to make the 53-man roster? Then Jalen Nailor. So what's the latest on Jalen Nailor?
Yeah.
So Kevin O'Connell on the record, was it post-game Friday, skirted the question about did Jalen Nailor undergo surgery on the left hand? I can tell you there was a procedure done with the idea to be back for week 1.
Okay.
I think when the injury report comes out, when will it come out? Saturday, September 6th? 2 days prior to the Monday night opener, so opener in 13 days. That final injury report 11 days from now. I would imagine Jalen Nailor is listed as questionable. Now, if he can ramp things up in practice a day or two prior, maybe probable. But, I'm just thinking wide receiver, hand.
Yeah.
That's a tricky injury.
That's a tough one.
But the idea is when you undergo a procedure to get back sooner, that if he just lets it heal, he absolutely misses week 1. But there is this idea that Nailor's doing well right now with the hope to play week 1 in Chicago.
Man. Breaking news. The breaking news won't stop. Boys, the Minnesota Twins 2026 schedule just came out. All 162
don't do
games.
that to us.
You guys want to go through every game one by one? Who wants to pick the 2026 Twins schedule with me right now?
Hey, I'm in for Field of Dreams, though.
Well, the busiest month of the season is in April when they're home 16 times.
Declan's actually breaking down.
I've already done that. I can't stand how they put the busiest time of year when it's 38 degrees. There's your Twins update.
It doesn't matter. No one's going anyway.
It's true.
It's
true.
Hey, let's before we get into some quarterback discussion here, because we do have a quarterback room solidified. We want to get Duke's thoughts on that too. A shout out to Butcher and the Boar, Judd. Butcher and the Boar in the North Loop. Their new It's a great patio day today.
Patio day.
I was going to say it's absolutely fantastic. In fact, you know what? Not just a great patio day, a great patio week. And, you know, if you took the day off and you're out here at the fair until, 2 or 3 o'clock, and you're on your way home and you're like, it's just not time to end this day, may I suggest the North Loop, the Butcher and the Boar, an absolutely outstanding place to stop. Craft cocktails, fantastic beers, great menu as well. And, of course, if you go inside, we're talking about an absolutely just outstanding dining experience. So check them out. Check that patio out in the North Loop. Butcher and the Boar, and if you're going to let's say a Twins game next April too.
Let's go.
Butcher and the Boar is a great place.
Pump it up. That's right.
That's right.
Hey, so today the Minnesota Renaissance Festival, which is another great event, is helping to power our Score North podcast presentation here, and the Minnesota Renaissance Festival is going on weekends now through September 28th, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m., and Labor Day. Also included there beer and wine, food, real jousting, and 16 stages of exciting entertainment, street acts, music, fully armored jousting. That's fully armored jousting, boys. Okay, so if you're
Dukes
feeling dangerous,
Dukes and I,
you can go to the Minnesota
Right after
Renaissance.
you hop in Royce's pool.
With you guys could joust in Royce's pool. That'll be great.
Dangerous.
There's taverns throughout the festival too, so great for families and great for date nights. RenaissanceFest.com. That's RenaissanceFest.com. So it's being reported this morning. Max Brosmer has been told he did make the 53-man roster.
Woo! Can I give you one more quick update?
Yeah.
Before we give Brosmer all sorts of love.
Yeah.
It seems like the Vikings prefer at least one, if not a couple other receivers over Robert Woods.
Okay.
But the possibility exists. I'm told maybe.
Okay.
But there's a belief that they're trying on at least one or two other guys a bit more.
Okay. Interesting. They continue to sniff around some wide receiver help there. So Brosmer impresses. I saw Dan Orlovsky just tweeted, keep an eye, remember that name, Max Brosmer.
I'm connecting with Dan either tomorrow or Thursday.
You should ask him about Brosmer for sure. And then since the last time you were on this show, Carson Wentz took the place of Sam Howell as QB2. So just your thoughts on the makeup of that quarterback room. And then the last-minute addition, Carson Wentz, in terms of does he know the system, spent a year with Sean McVay's Rams 2 years ago. So he is well-versed in this. And there's a couple differences, I'm sure, but he's well-versed in the verbiage and the general scheme that he's jumping into.
All right, my thoughts. I mean, if JJ McCarthy has to miss any sort of extended time, they're screwed. But give me Carson Wentz over Sam Howell. And my sense is this wasn't the Vikings saying, okay, let's finally make this move, that there was interest in Carson going back some time, that Carson decided to wait things out just to see if a starting opportunity presented itself. But, hey, there's a reason why this is his 6th team in the last 6 years. But we watched enough of Sam Howell.
Yeah.
We knew the number 2 QB could not be Sam Howell. To me, it's unfortunate because I like Brett
traded
Rippon.
3 times in his career so far.
Yeah.
I think 4 is the
so
record.
So is Kenny Pickett.
Yeah,
so he's not
third
alone.
time.
Sam Howell isn't alone in that regard. I feel bad for Brett Rippon because I like him personally. There was an opportunity there, but he never seized that opportunity. So the way everything unfolded made sense to me. The fact that the Vikings, what was the pick they gave up in April to Seattle for Howell?
It was 30 spots back. It was a swap. It was a pick swap. And they moved 30 spots back into the 6th round.
All right, so now are there some conditions? The NFL transaction wire said there's some conditions.
It's a conditional pick.
Yeah, but the fact that they got anything for Sam Howell, to me, is a win, although I think Howie Roseman is as good as it gets in the Philadelphia Eagles front office. So what the heck does Howie Roseman see that the Vikings don't see?
Well, I think he sees a body, and they were basically
maybe
like,
it's as
he's
simple
not,
as
yeah.
that.
I also, it's important to point out, too, that so the Vikings have 11 picks if you include the potential 3 compensatory picks. But a conditional pick, as far as I know, can be traded. So, like, it's not crucial that conditional pick is like what is it going to be? There's a good chance the Vikings will never have that pick. They'll move it around. So, This again gives you 8 potential picks to trade, which, if we're talking about cornerback and wide receiver, might come in handy. But the fact that you got anything for Howell, I think, is a win for the Vikings because he just didn't fit here.
Absolutely. Now look forward to connecting with Carson. We won't have a chance until Labor Day, so nothing this week. We'll get some FaceTime with Kwesi on Thursday. But, yeah, we'll first meet Carson wearing number 11 for the Vikings on Monday, presumably on Monday. We have some time in the locker room on Monday, Labor Day. But, yeah, I'm fine with it. It doesn't bother me. And it's not like the Vikings are alone. Like, if the starter goes down, you're probably screwed, right?
You know, I'm going to fight you on that.
Yeah.
I'm going to fight you. Just real quick. I'm going to fight you live on stage. It's a dueling black T-shirts fight here. We're going to joust. So, the word, like, screwed, that if you have to go to your backup quarterback, I explained this yesterday, too. I think it's relative. If you are a franchise that is disproportionately reliant upon your quarterback to carry a weaker roster or, I mean, like, not that these teams have bad rosters, but the Bills, the Chiefs, if those teams lose Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes and those guys are making $50, $55 million and your roster has some holes because of how much money your quarterback makes, you're probably screwed. But I'm going to give you – the Vikings have a great top-5 defense. They have an offensive line. They've got weapons all over the place. And people would be shocked to know some of the quarterbacks that teams win 9 or more games with recently. So here are some quarterbacks that I think everyone at the fair and everyone on Purple Daily YouTube right now would say are below average or worse quarterbacks, which I think we'd put Carson Wentz in that category now, whose teams recently won at least 9 games because they had enough around that guy, coaching, everything else. Bo Nix last year cooked Russell Wilson with the Broncos a couple years ago.
Is Bo Nix for sure below average?
He's on the cut line. But he's being propped up by a great offensive-minded head coach, all these things.
Yeah, that's fair.
Geno Smith, Derek Carr, Daniel Jones in 2022. The combination of Kenny Pickett and Mason Rudolph went 10-5 with the Steelers 2 years ago.
Yeah, that's the ultimate example.
Gardner Minshew, 9 wins. And Mac Jones 3 years ago. That was a 10-win Patriots team. So if you've got stuff around a blasé quarterback, you can. I'm not saying you're winning the Super Bowl. Like, you're probably screwed if that's your goal. But flirting with a division or winning a playoff
Nick Foles won
game. Nick Foles won the Super Bowl.
He won the Super Bowl.
Not because
I think
Nick
he was
Foles.
always a starter. I mean, that.
Yeah, he
really
really.
was
but he's
a unique situation.
Below average, though. Below
He
average.
tailed off big time because he signed with the Chiefs, got the starting job, went downhill. I think came back as a backup with the Rams. He almost quit, and then he went back to Philadelphia as Carson Wentz's backup. But here's my theory, Dukes. Let me paint this picture for you.
Please do.
I got a theory for you, and it's this: Carson Wentz holds the place for now of the backup QB, which Sam Howell I just think didn't look like he was able to do at all. I don't think there was any moment where KO thought, you know what, he can do it. But how about this one too? This also takes any pressure off if you had named Max Brosmer the backup, right? Which would have been a huge ask immediately. And there would have been people like, oh my, if McCarthy gets hurt, he plays. But now you have the time to quietly transition the depth chart, and one day, let's say in November, Max Brosmer is QB2, which is, I think that's where this is going.
Oh, it's absolutely where it's going. It's just a matter of when. Is it October, or is it more like this time next year? But yes, undoubtedly, Max Brosmer is on the pathway to being QB2. All right. So if McCarthy, let's say, hypothetically, it's a minor injury on one of those crappy surfaces over in Europe. So week 4 or week 5.
This is reckless right now.
We're already ripping Dublin and London?
Well, I mean, just saying. Maybe more so London. Maybe they've fixed the surface, but I feel better about some of the surfaces here. Although Soldier Field, I'm not sure I'd feel great about that.
Yeah.
But let's say...
Great surfaces they're playing on the first month of the season.
Let's say it's a minor injury. It's 2 weeks.
Okay.
Something like that. An ankle sprain, a knee sprain.
Like a mid-ankle sprain. Not like a high, like a
You
mid-ankle
can sell
sprain.
me on a
gotcha.
couple weeks.
I got what you're saying.
About this. Why are we even pontificating about
Couple
this?
games.
But anyway, okay, so
all right.
Scares me.
Because I'm with you. I mean, I have a man crush on Jordan Mason. Not the most affable young man, but He can ball. He can play.
You've been rejected for a couple interviews.
No, he's not a man of many words.
Judd's been rejected.
Yeah, Judd's been.
I was.
You know what?
Rejected.
That's okay. Score a red zone touchdown. And
who cares?
And he will.
I want a mean too. A running back who's mean. I sort of like that.
Yeah, just take the ball.
I am big on Mason. So big on him. Man crush on him. Aaron Jones. Love the upgrades along the offensive line. Donovan Jackson. I'll tell you what. Whew, I didn't realize how good he is.
He's a stud, man.
He
can run.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yes, you can sell me on a couple games, Phil. If it's 8 games, something like that. Because how many examples could I now, with a quick Google search, you brought up your names. How many can I find going the other way?
Well, we don't have to talk about that.
Well,
It's a positive Phil here is presenting this segment.
To your point, too, though, Phil, you've got the phrase about quarterbacks, which is accurate, which is blue screen of death, right? Mm-hmm. If you can avoid that, so you don't have to be a star, but you can't make a stupid pass like Howell did in the Patriots preseason game because that submarines your team. Mm-hmm. So my thing with Brosmer, what I saw that I really liked is because of the fact he's so football smart, and he might not be the most skilled guy, but he's got skills. That's what I like about him. I don't see the blue screen of death. Like if Kevin O'Connell said in November, okay, Max, you're going to play, and we need you to go out there and do your job. And most importantly, don't screw us. Like, don't make a dumb pass. You're going to hand off a lot.
I love that Judd that's what he plants into the head of his quarterback right before he walks out. Listen, don't screw it up.
Don't be a hero.
Kid.
You don't need to be a hero. If you have all the components that you're talking about around you, I don't need you to carry the team, but I can't have you throw a dumb pass from your own 5-yard line.
Yeah. Hey, real quick before we.
Well, and that's Max. Yeah, I mean, absolutely.
There is another interesting. In terms of like quarterback rehab school here, a 25-year-old former third-round pick was just released by who was he in camp with, the Raiders? Desmond Ridder was just cut.
He was with the Raiders.
6'4",
okay, so they lose Aiden
pounds.
O'Connell. I mean, if the Raiders had any sort of opinion on Ridder, I didn't even realize he was with the Raiders. Yeah, I don't know if I need to go that route.
Bengals.
Okay.
Bengals.
All right, so right there in his college backyard, right? University of Cincinnati?
They didn't even want him.
They didn't even want him, huh?
Yeah. And kind of a McVay disciple head coach there, too.
I mean, maybe I sign him to the practice squad after week 2.
Yeah.
Little Bengals intel heading into that September 21st game.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you can't sell me on Desmond Ridder.
Yeah. Darren Doogie Wolfson from the 5 Eyewitness News Sports Department. Thank you, man.
Doogie.
Thank you, boys.
Thanks, Doogie.
Bonding with a new Viking tonight for a story that will air pregame show. So we at Hubbard Broadcasting have Vikings-Bears Monday Night Football.
Let's go.
September 8th. That is an ABC game, so we'll do a pregame show at 6:30. So I am bonding with one of the new Vikings tonight.
Big ratings, Dukes. Big bonus for you.
Get a schedule thoughts.
It's huge. All right, boys.
All right, Dukes. Thanks for coming out, man.
Darren.
Appreciate you. We will keep it here. Purple Daily live at the Minnesota State Fair here on the Minnesota Rusco podcast stage until 2 o'clock. And then the Before I Die crew, Jesse Pierce, Jason Harmon, Leighton Glodek in the house to talk about the Vikings here from 2 to 3 o'clock. 3 of the most passionate, and in terms of social media and their Vikings followings, 3 lead voices on Minnesota sports social media. So that'll be fun here today. We're about to give our hottest Vikings takes, boys. Presented by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning, Dex.
That's right. So Standard Heating, they came out to my place to make sure that air conditioning unit that I was using was still working because it was 20 years old. We weren't able to get a look at it when we bought the house, and again, Cameron thankfully took a look at it, made sure that thing is ship-shape, even gave me my own tips to make sure that air conditioning continues to run smooth. Call Standard Heating, contact them for all your HVAC needs. You can join their Smart Club too, which is something I did. Helps you save on future repairs, gives you priority booking. Go to standardheating.com and shout out to Standard Heating for powering our hot takes.
Thanks to Federated Insurance for being just an awesome partner for us as we have built Score North and Purple Daily over the years. Just like they've been great partners with small to medium-sized businesses, the backbone of America, if you will, throughout the past 100-plus years in Minnesota and in all 50 states. They specialize in various industries like retailers, wholesalers, manufacturing companies, auto services, dealerships, contractors. Find a full list of industries Federated works with and find out about the great history of this company. Also, if you're a next-generation business owner, maybe you took over a family business or you're a younger business owner, federatedinsurance.com, where it's our business to protect yours. All right. our hottest Vikings takes here. Who wants to unleash the first one?
I'll go. I'll bet lead off here.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Because I think it goes from the Gabe Murphy kind of shocking release there. I'll give you the hottest take right now. I think this is pretty dang hot if you ask me.
Wow.
Not Jonathan Grenard.
We'll decide.
Not Andrew Van Ginkel. Dallas Turner is going to lead the Minnesota Vikings in sacks in 2025. The runway is now clear. So, yes, we don't really also know what is up with the Gangster. He's been battling an injury there at the last, towards the end of training camp. He's a first-round pick. We're watching all these other draft picks that Kwesi has made basically been released or cut or waived. It's kind of remarkable to see. This clears up, in my opinion, a great path for Dallas Turner. He's going to make a huge impact, and I'll quantify a hottest take that instead of just him having a nice year of 7-8 sacks, he's going to lead the Vikings in sacks. And there are some big boys, obviously, that have a bigger case for him to lead this team in sacks. I think this opens up a huge runway for Dallas Turner. He's going to lead the team in sacks. That's my hottest take.
That's very hot. That's extremely hot.
Because Grenard
Considering
is...
I said last week Grenard's going to lead the entire National Football League in sacks. So you are throwing it right back in my face.
Yeah.
You know what's funny is I heard complaints that Dallas Turner didn't flash in the preseason games, but seeing that guy in practices and in the way that he showed up prepared, I think you're more right than wrong in the sense that I think he's going to have a major impact. Now, I don't know if he's going to be at the rush end as much, like if Van Ginkel and Grenard are playing.
Yeah.
But I think this is going to be the first year, and Doogie alluded to this a little bit, I think this is going to be the first time that we sort of see the positionless Brian Flores football scheme also involve a guy like Turner. Wouldn't be surprised if Metellus and Harrison Smith play back more, and yet they'll have a third guy out there. But I also think that you could have essentially what amounts to 3 rush ends.
Yeah.
So, but I am not down on Turner. I think he is taking this very seriously. And I also think that giving up on him, as some people did, it's probably a small group, after last season, it's ridiculous. So would not be surprised if he has a very good season in the sack department.
Yeah, it's time to go. It's time to go.
You gotta go.
Even if Grenard and Van Ginkel are healthy, they were in a lot of their must-pass defensive formations throughout camp. Judd, it's fair to say they had 3 edge rushers on the field for a lot of those. Even last year, you'd see Patrick Jones out there or Dallas Turner.
Yep.
In addition to Grenard and Van Ginkel. So just because he might not be first or second on the edge rusher depth chart doesn't mean they play 3 safeties a lot. They play 3 edge rushers a lot with these different looks. What's interesting is there were 2 players at his position drafted within 10 picks after Dallas Turner who were really good as rookies last year.
Yeah.
Jared Verse for the Los Angeles Rams finished 4th in the league in pressures in the regular season behind Jonathan Grenard, Myles Garrett, and Trey Hendrickson. And then Chop Robinson, first-round pick by the Dolphins out of Penn State, was top 20 in total pressures as a rookie too, ahead of Max Crosby, who did miss 5 games. Chop Robinson had more pressures than TJ Watt did last year. So there's a couple dudes that the Vikings passed on to draft Dallas Turner, who flashed immediately as rookies. And the Vikings can say, listen, hey, he was always a little bit more of a long-term, younger development project, and I will give them all of that.
Yeah.
Year 2, for a first-round pick you gave up a lot of draft capital for, all right, let's see. It's time to see it with Dallas Turner is my grand point here.
So I'll make a general observation here about Flores' defense too, though. It feels like if you have especially a younger player come into his system, and in some cases, Byron Murphy Jr. being an example of that, it can take a year.
Yeah.
It's so convoluted compared to, because it lacks so much tradition. And that's why, I think it's fair to give it a year. Now, you're right. It is go time. It's important. And quite frankly, if he is installed at times as the off-the-ball linebacker, he might not get a ton of sacks. So this is all going to depend on probably, PFF grades, of course, and the eye test as well. But there's just so many things that Flores does that are curveballs, and there are so many guys that are asked to play in specific positions. And with him, just like with KO with quarterbacks, there's also a trust that he has to have.
So last year the Vikings had 48 sacks as a team. Grenard had 12. Van Ginkel had 11.5. Patrick Jones, who's now departed, he had 7 last year. Harrison Phillips, now also traded. He had 2 last year. I mean, they were one of the best teams at getting after the quarterback, but there are now some sacks. I don't know if we can assume it's 48 sacks, right? But I think that's a pretty good benchmark with just how many dudes are in the system, that there are some now vacancies, right, to help you get to that 48 number.
Patrick Jones is a big trust tree guy. Go back and look 2 years ago, the trust tree, low. Last year, okay, you're prepared. That's what I'm talking about with Flores. To get on the field, he has to be convinced you're not going to screw it up.
There is, when you, from a physical tool standpoint with Dallas Turner, the way that he's fast, he's quick, he's agile, and you see it flash at practice. But Judd nailed it. There's a certain, because you're asking those guys to sometimes show blitz or show pass rush and then drop into coverage. And not that you're going to be great in coverage when you are mostly a move-ahead pass rusher, but that's what's being asked in this system sometimes to trick. That's how you get the Van Ginkel pick sixes, because he's dropping back when the quarterback thinks he's coming, and boom, it's going the other way for 6 points. So can Dallas Turner – now, Dallas Turner did have a Van Ginkel-like pick six in one of the practices. Or it was like the second practice, if I remember early. So looks like he might be catching on a little bit.
If the football sounder is set to go, I'd like to talk about one thing that we saw in practice, and that is, and Phil saw this too, Dex, Dallas Turner was able to put his foot in the ground with confidence and explode.
Yeah.
And he didn't do it last year. You could tell he was very he was moving, but he wasn't moving with confidence, if that's the right phrase.
Yeah.
Dallas Turner made plays this year on blitzes and on specific plays where it was very, very clear he had the key down immediately. And it doesn't appear like much, but it's a different speed.
He also, he did, I think we forget, even though it was kind of a forgettable year for him, he still got 3 sacks, 20 tackles, 5 quarterback hits. So, he definitely still was able to sprinkle in some. This wasn't a Lewis Cine thing where, he didn't even sniff the field or was, buried on a depth chart. There was just other guys that were making a bigger impact in front of him, and now I think his runway is just a lot more clear.
Yeah. All right, it's between you and me. You want?
I'll bat third.
You want me
Joust.
to go? Okay.
Joust.
All right. Yeah.
I'll bat
the
third.
sports dad's going to bat cleanup here in this situation. All right. I'm going to preface my hottest Vikings take with some incredible research by emailer Jacob.
Okay.
So, yeah.
that was yours.
Some incredible research.
Phil's done no work for this, folks.
Some incredible research by me.
Yeah.
That's right.
I think it's a hot
It was
take.
me.
It was me.
Austin. No, Jacob, we have, first of all, our listeners, and many of you are out here hanging out right now at the State Fair.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We appreciate all of you.
You guys are awesome.
But we have awesome listeners that will set the Purple Daily Anonymous tip line that's been a thing now for a couple of years. But we have listeners for Feedback Friday that will send in researched, developed segments and thoughts. And so Jacob sent this in for a Feedback Friday, but it's just too good to wait. And I think it works well for my hottest Vikings take. So bear with me here. He says, "Hey, Purple Daily crew. This is a long bit of research, but definitely worthy of a discussion. I did a good deep dive, or I think a good deep dive episode would be the 20-plus year history of when the Vikings play the AFC North on their schedule.
Oh.
So every 4 years, you play different AFC divisions, right? You play the AFC North this year. You played the whatever it was last year.
South, right?
The South, yeah. And you go around the clock in the AFC. So we are now in the 4-year cycle where you play the AFC North.
Yeah.
As far back as I could track, going back to 1998, the Vikings have a tendency of going boom or bust quite literally the year they play the AFC North. You can all fact check this to see if I'm crazy or not.
17.
Jen and I are doing the math on the
So hold on. And so the math is a little wonky because between 98 and the early 2000s, they switched division.
Yes.
They went from 3 divisions to 4.
Yep.
Yeah.
So starting in 1998, he went and found every year the Vikings played the AFC North.
Bravo.
1998, boom. Now, all of these finish with a bust of some kind, obviously, because the Vikings have never won the Super Bowl. But 1998, Vikings go 15-1, get to the NFC Championship game. 2001 was the next time they played the AFC North. Bad record, Dennis Green gets fired. 2005, missed the playoffs. Mike Tice gets fired. 2009, NFC Championship game. 2013. I think that was one of the worst seasons in Vikings history, actually.
Had one that wasn't that the memorable Cordell Patterson and wasn't there 28 points scored in the final 2 minutes of that game? It was a snow game. It was like the wackiest last 4 minutes. It was boomer bust, though. Boomer bust.
And then Leslie Frazier got fired.
Yeah.
After that, not after that game, but pretty close, right? So bust. 2017, NFC Championship game.
That's great.
2021, missed the playoffs. Mike Zimmer gets fired. So, Jacob, we did fact check this. And every year that the Vikings play the AFC North, going back over 25 years, they either make the NFC Championship game or a coach gets fired.
All right.
There is no chance that Kevin O'Connell gets fired after this season. Therefore, my hottest Vikings take is they are going back to at least the NFC Championship game.
Hey!
All right. And so what's going to happen there?
I don't know, but I've seen it play out before. No, by the way, no guarantees on this research beyond they make that game, and then we'll see what happens. So thank you to emailer Jacob.
That's
incredible deep dive research. But hey, this is a trend going back almost 30 years when they played the Bengals, Steelers, Browns, and Ravens in the same season. Wow.
So in '98, it was not the North at that time, right? It was the Central.
AFC Central,
yeah,
right?
it was, and the Vikings were in the NFC Central. I think the first year of the new divisions was sometime in the early 2000s. It might have been 2001.
Yeah,
2000 might be the last year of the old divisions.
So 1998, the AFC Central included Bengals, Steelers, Ravens, Oilers, and Jaguars at the time.
Okay.
And then the Browns came back the next year. And then didn't they boot? Oh, then they bumped the Seahawks to the NFC.
Yes.
And they did some finagling there in some form.
Sports geography is the best of all time.
Well, when you add a new team, it's like,
you know who should be in the Central? Jacksonville.
Yeah,
Tampa Bay. Florida, right in the Central.
Yeah, Tampa Bay was in the NFC Central at the time. And then didn't you also have, wasn't there a time where like the Phoenix Cardinals were in an Eastern division?
Because the St. Louis
NFC
Cardinals
East, right?
were in the NFC East.
So
and they just moved them out there and kept them.
Yeah, 1998, the Arizona Cardinals were in the NFC East.
Yep.
And they went 9-7.
I mean, that's a way east.
Yeah. So do you trust Jacob's?
It's
Jacob nailed the pattern here.
I sort of like the pattern.
Or do you think there's a path for Kevin? If it has to be boom or bust,
well, he's not going to fire.
Is there a path for Kevin O'Connell to get fired somehow?
No. They could win 3 games.
He'd have to commit like an HR violation.
They could win 3 games. He ain't getting fired.
Yeah.
No. I mean, I could see it. They definitely have set themselves up in a sense that it's going to be here or here, right? Like, I don't see this team, even with McCarthy starting and being a young quarterback, I don't see like, they won 7 games. Oh, good, this is great. So, I like it.
Okay.
I like it. But I do think it's more boom than bust.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Okay, on-air production meeting.
Yep.
So Walleye on a Stick, which is our food partner here today, has brought lunch at halftime. Should we do that quick and then get to Judd's hottest Vikings take?
Sure.
Because they're chilling back here. They got the Walleye on a Stick.
Let's see what Judd on a Stick thinks.
Can you cut a hole in the mouth?
No, I'm not cutting a hole in my face.
Walleye on a Stick was here last week, and fantastic. It is a State Fair favorite, a longtime staple food here at the Minnesota State Fair. Dare I say legendary. And they have deep-fried walleye balls. They've got walleye on a stick, walleye on a bun, walleye on a boat, catfish on a stick, Cajun catfish, smelt, wildcat tacos. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
The Birch Bark sarsaparilla-style root beer. And when you come to the fair, you got to go always to Walleye on a Stick, located in the food building for the socials. No, thank you, guys. Oh, a little tartar sauce in here. Okay. Thank you.
Or Crybaby Craig's.
Yeah, love it. Appreciate it. Yeah, no, thanks for coming out again. We love ourselves some Walleye on a Stick here. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Working lunch. Mm-hmm.
We're professionals.
We are professional podcasters here. Yeah. So, again, shout out to Walleye on a Stick for keeping us fed here.
Delicious.
At halftime at the Minnesota State Fair. Are you ready now to give your? You could take another bite if you want to.
No. I'm just going to put it down.
On the camp notes.
Judge camp notes.
Oh, here you go. Judd.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I got a script here. I don't want to put it on that. I don't,
Now your notes.
The Judd's camp notes. By the way, which are available right around the corner here. Judd's camp notes. Beautiful notebooks. Great. Tons of paper in there. Okay. Let's get to my hottest take. So I've been singing the praises of the acquisition of Jordan Mason.
Yeah.
Which we all have, right? So I decided to try to contextualize this, though, with the hottest take. And what I'm about to say would be a very hot take for the Kevin O'Connell Vikings. Jordan Mason will finish in the top 5 in the entire league in rushing touchdowns.
Wow.
This season. Now
we're really going for it.
Yep. Now let me give you 2024, the top 5. Derrick Henry, James Cook, and Jamar Gibbs each had 16. Josh Jacobs, who actually replaced Aaron Jones in Green Bay, had 15.
Okay.
And then 3 players were tied for 5th with 14. 14 or more, so let's just say it's 14 for Jordan Mason. 14 or more rushing touchdowns would be 3rd in a single season in Vikings history.
Yeah, that's a massive season.
Adrian Peterson had 18 in 2009. Dalvin Cook had 16 in 2020. And in O'Connell's 3 seasons as coach, your rushing touchdowns, Dalvin Cook 2022, 18 total. So
Yeah.
not just for him, but 18 total. The last 2 years combined, 16. Combined, 7 in 2023, 9 in 2024. So to put this into perspective, Jordan Mason, I think, is going to have a huge year in the rushing touchdown category, which I think is among the most important things he can do.
It's actually one of the most important things a winning team in the NFL can do.
Yep.
Of all the different stats and metrics and measurements and things you can point to, it's a passing league over here, EPA, all the different advanced stats. Here are the team rushing touchdown leaders from last season. You tell me if this matters in the NFL. The Buffalo Bills, the Detroit Lions, the Philadelphia Eagles, the Washington Commanders, the Green Bay Packers, who beat everyone else outside the division, couldn't beat the Lions, the Vikings, right?
Sure.
And the Baltimore Ravens. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's literally like if you can move the ball against their will into the end zone at a high rate, you're going to be one of the best teams in the NFL.
Yeah. And O'Connell knows, too, that a combined 16 rushing touchdowns over a 2-year period is not acceptable.
Yeah.
Right.
And I'll go back to, I really think the Lions game, the final game of the regular season, and the Rams playoff loss hammered home. If you get in the red zone, hey, if you can throw a passing touchdown, that's great. But that cannot be your bread and butter there. And Jordan Mason, if you look at that build, that body, is made to go through people.
So I was going to give a kind of similar take on KOC's rushing attack. I went back and looked at this. So as a coordinator and as a head coach, Kevin O'Connell-led offenses have only he has only ran the ball more than they passed the ball twice. Once as the OC in 2020, and actually last year the Vikings were 14th in rushing attempts and 18th in passing attempts. I feel like I know that was a more even split. I thought they ended up passing the ball more than they ranked in rushing. But I think this year is going to be probably the first time since 2020 that they're likely a top 10 rushing attempt unit. They have a first time starting quarterback. They got a 2-headed monster. I mean, first few years, they were 28th, 31st. He has a propensity. He doesn't like to run the football, mostly because he either doesn't have the personnel or he doesn't trust the people that are in front of him.
Right.
This feels like the first time where they're actually going to be really trying to establish the run to make life easier on you.
This opens up really an opportunity as well for O'Connell to thrive from a play calling standpoint. And I've looked up those stats too. The stats last year were not nearly as opposite as I expected. He did run more, but I think it's what he calls play flow. So the play flow itself.
Play flow?
I was just about to hit it.
Football.
Yeah. The play flow itself, because, and I tried to find this, I couldn't, but what I would be curious, like last year, how much did they run in the red zone, especially the deep red? Because that's where you have to. And it's funny, they got the touchdown in the red zone against the Giants in week 1 with Aaron Jones, who cut outside. It was a really nice play. And I thought, okay, here we go, right? But then the reality was a lot of times that play has to go right up the A gap, right up the gap. And Aaron Jones is not big enough to do that. Jordan Mason more than makes up for that. So I think it's not just how
because
much.
the A gap isn't always like a wide open lane.
It's a muddy.
Run
It's
through.
muddy.
Yeah.
It's very muddy. And so I think what we're looking at here is how much do you have the opportunity where you run the ball. So it's not do you run the ball, it's specific places. Because if you run up to 30, that's great. But when you got to punch it in the end zone, that's where it gets really, because it gets so tight and restricted, that's where it gets tougher.
Yeah, it's something that the Vikings, it's kind of an anomaly that the Vikings have been top 10-ish offensively in points and scoring, despite not being a great running team in Kevin O'Connell's 3 years here.
Yep.
So I gave you the top of the rushing touchdown list. It's literally the best teams in the NFL, except for the Chiefs, basically, are all the ones that score the most rushing touchdowns. Because it's how do you convert at a high level of your red zone chances? You run the ball in. It's harder to throw the ball, right?
Correct.
At the bottom of the list, the Vikings are the anomaly. The bottom of the rushing touchdowns list is the worst teams in the NFL, the ones that fire coaches and that you laugh at and that have bad infrastructure, and the Vikings. It is the Cowboys. These are the worst rushing touchdown teams. Cowboys, Browns, Jets, Vikings, Raiders, Patriots, Titans, Bengals. It's a who's who of the worst teams in the NFL.
Yep.
And so the fact that they're able to move the ball like they did and still score the points that they did with no ability to run the ball inside the 20 is pretty incredible. Add that layer, and I think Jordan Mason, it's a hot take saying he's going to score 14 rushing touchdowns.
Right.
But it should be the emphasis for sure.
When's the last time that the Vikings had an interior offensive line that could road grade?
2012 with a 2,000-yard Adrian Peterson for sure. Mm-hmm. There was a couple Dalvin Cook years but yeah, it's been a minute.
But I mean,
it's been a minute.
And the push there with Kelly and Fries, and I mean Jackson might have some rookie struggles at times, but that is a mammoth man. Like that's the type of guy that I want at guard.
I mean, I don't want to overhit this, but
you don't have to do it for that one. And the thing
You're
about
fishing for it.
And the thing about Jackson, I felt like I wasn't there. I did twice earlier, but I felt like the Jackson thing that we saw in training camp, and it was especially true. I think you were there the day of the screen pass that he got downfield for. Is this guy's athletic? I mean, he's a huge guy, and he's athletic, and he's getting downfield, but he's not illegally. Because ordinarily, if those guys, Dalton Reisner would do this, right? He'd get downfield, but often he would jump in front of the play, and, well, that's a flag. So I think the possibilities here in A, the red zone touchdowns that you can get on the ground, and then B, Declan's favorite thing, the screen game. I think we're looking at a whole new opportunity here for the Vikings to utilize areas where they really haven't probably in the last 2 or 3 years.
Yeah. Okay, we do have an Adam Thielen update.
Ooh. Is it breaking news? Or
It's developing news on the Adam Thielen front. And a reminder that today's Purple Daily appearance at the Minnesota State Fair is presented in part by the Minnesota Renaissance Festival, running now through Sunday, September 28th. So Adam Schefter just made an appearance on the Pat McAfee show.
Okay.
And he's got his little button-up shirt on cut day, tweeting out all the news.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Let me see if his sleeves are rolled up like a weatherman tracking storms.
Ian Leonard?
His arms aren't on camera. It's
Be
too
cut
narrow.
aware?
Yes, be 53-man roster alert.
Aware.
So here's what Adam Schefter said on the Pat McAfee show. The Vikings have tried to trade for Adam Thielen, but up until now it just doesn't look like it's going to happen. They would love to have Adam Thielen, but maybe they pivot to signing KJ Osborne instead. KJ Osborne was cut by the Commanders a few hours ago, and he's a free agent. He doesn't have to go through waivers. I know that's not, in terms of like sexiness and home state favorite.
Right.
There's a certain attachment to Thielen.
Right.
But at some point, if the Panthers are saying, listen, guys, we'd love to help make this. This is a great story. We'd love to make this happen. Hell, we'd love to get a draft pick for a 35-year-old receiver that's probably going to be out of the league in a year. But we also are looking at the second half of the season last year. The Panthers were highly competitive. They've got a boomer bust third-year quarterback situation right now in Bryce Young, and Thielen's been very helpful from what we've heard behind the scenes.
Yep.
And they don't play a playoff team from last year until week 9. So the Panthers are sitting there saying, I mean, we could make this trade, but we'd also like to try and win a bunch of games and maybe win a division and sneak in. So it's going to be a third-round pick if you want him. And the Vikings are saying, well, we got a bunch of 5th and 6th. So if you're the Vikings, let's say it negotiates to like a 4th or a 5th, not a 3rd. That's ridiculous.
Right.
Do you give up a 4th or a 5th round pick for 35-year-old Thielen, or do you give up no picks for KJ Osborne, he's way younger. He's like 7 years younger. He was very good with the Vikings as a wide receiver 3. Train wreck season with the Patriots, but everything train wreck for the Patriots last year. They fired their whole coaching staff.
Yeah.
Or a Robert Woods who's 2 years younger and can block on the edges for a wide receiver, won a Super Bowl with Kevin O'Connell. I would be careful about paying a 3rd-round pick tax for Adam Thielen.
And then they're going to want you to pick up a bunch of the salary as well? No, thank you.
When
That's
you
great.
could roll that over into next year.
And you're right. I don't blame them. If they say, hey, you know what? We've got a ton of receivers. The majority are young. Thielen is really good with them. He's going to be good with Bryce Young. I don't blame them. I'll go back to what I said with Doogie, though. I also think we're not necessarily, because we're so focused on guys that have been here or guys. If they sign Osborne, I think they sign 2 guys. And that room, I mean, to go back through what that receiver room is right now, it's woefully short for the first 3 games.
Yeah.
And my understanding is, and Duke's brought this up, so Naylor had a procedure done, and it sounds like what they basically said is we think he can play in week 1, but it's going to be pain tolerance. Well, let's go through a couple of things here. Number 1, he's a receiver. That means his hands are vital. Like it's not like a left tackle where we'll just tape you up. The second thing is Jalen Naylor has a propensity to drop the ball already. So I'm going with at least 2 guys, and I think we need to get outside of our heads a little bit here. If it's Osborne, that's fine. But if they can find 2 guys that know the system but didn't play here, I'm fine with that too. It's just you got to find 1 or 2 stopgaps.
Yeah.
You have to.
Yeah, and it does kind of feel like, because you need a punt returner in here somewhere. But let me ask you this. How much Adam Thielen at his best is better than KJ Osborne easily, right?
Yep.
Career is not a comparison.
Nope.
But 35-year-old Thielen, he's not really a yards after the catch guy anymore. He can still run some routes. But he's one of the oldest offensive players in the league at 35. You're too old.
Yeah.
For like a 4th-round pick, and to your point, picking up a chunk of a salary that you're trying to pay down your $50 million over the cap next year.
Right.
And the NFL allows you to roll over unused cap space into the next year,
Which is what I think they're doing.
which is part of the reason why they have $30 million left in space.
Yes.
Or a 28-year-old KJ Osborne, who the last time he was in your system caught 48 passes for 540 yards and a small handful of touchdowns.
And again, it's a small, you don't need him for 17 games. Like, I need you to be able to be productive and run the correct routes for McCarthy, who's also going to have Aaron Jones he can throw to, TJ Hawkinson. Like, it's not like if the passing game, we need KJ Osborne to run the 9 route. You don't need that. You just need somebody that can, an opponent, the Bears in this case, respect enough that they don't triple team Justin Jefferson. I'll throw at you again what I've been saying. I think part of this is the extra picks and all that. I think it might be for a cornerback. I really do. A veteran cornerback. I have far more long-term concern right now about that room. Like, Addison's going to miss 3 games, and then he's back. Now, I don't want to be bad in those 3 games, but then he's back. Naylor should be productive, and if I can't play him opening night, that's too bad, but he's going to be back.
Yeah.
We just talked about it in the last hour. That cornerback room is not really, it's not deep.
Yeah.
But 2, I don't even know how good that thing is beyond Byron Murphy Jr. and maybe Isaiah Rodgers. So I wouldn't be surprised if this compiling of draft picks has as much or more to do with corner than wide receiver.
Yeah, I mean, right now, so their cornerback room, just based on the reports that are coming out about, well, the Blackman trade from last night and then any cuts. So you got Byron Murphy Jr., Isaiah Rodgers, Jeff Okudah, Dwight McLaughlin. I don't think Khalef Halasi, who's kind of a safety cornerback hybrid, has been cut yet.
No, but he's been moved to. I think he's been moved to safety more so.
So if he's been moved to safety, and then I guess Ambry Thomas would still be. I don't think I've seen any official Ambry Thomas news.
No,
but it does feel like they've got something else in the works there. So, yeah, we'll keep an eye on the. By the way, the cut deadline to finalize your 53 is at 3 o'clock Central Time today.
Correct.
Are there any Gabriel Murphy's kind of a surprise. Are there any other surprises out there that Harrison Phillips was kind of a surprise, Mekhi Blackman? So they've already pulled a few surprises.
Yeah. I think it's not surprising, but I think probably one of the most interesting talkers about the last week is all of the trades and the fact that they are getting something in some cases. Now, Phillips' trade was a flat-out surprise. In retrospect, I think it's a fine trade. But the fact that you could get something, and it looks like a conditional pick from the Eagles for Sam Howell, the fact that you could get something for Blackman is great. But it feels like there's an end game. It doesn't feel like they're accumulating picks just to go hog wild in the draft next year. It feels like there's an end game here. And to go back to what we talked about, I think a couple days ago, Phil, this team doesn't or hasn't necessarily drafted great. But one thing they've done really well, I think, is run the business of football as far as identifying UDFAs. This March, identifying potential free agents that they signed. Also accumulating draft picks now. So I guess it's not a surprise, but the one thing I didn't see coming was sort of the plethora of trades, which I think there's going to be a means to that end.
Yeah, having 11 picks is pretty wild. They had 4 going into last year's draft.
Yeah.
And to have the 11 right now. And they have, so they, just to recap, after all these trades here and all the activity, the Howell was a trade, Harrison Phillips was a trade, Mekhi Blackman. So they now have a first, a second for next year, a first, a second, 2/3 if you include the projected comp pick for Darnold, a 4th round projected comp pick for Daniel Jones. So that's 5 picks in the first 4 rounds. Then you have 3 5th-round picks if you factor in the projected comp pick for a Cam Robinson, who I saw a report that he might get traded to, a 6th and 2 7ths, 11 draft picks for 2026 right now. And so if you wanted to make a big splash, you could trade from your stash of 4 first, second, 3rd-round picks, or obviously from your stash of 5th, 6th, 7th-round picks.
Right. And if you got the right trade, the one thing that you could do, presuming that you're going to get a 3rd-round comp pick for the loss of Sam Darnold, is you could trade your 3rd-round pick. Now, am I going to do that for a 35-year-old Adam Thielen? No.
Yeah.
But if it's the right cornerback, the answer is probably yes.
Yeah. So, all right, we'll keep you guys posted. We'll keep you guys posted here with less than 2 hours until NFL cut day. You guys want to do a little random Viking of the week here?
Yeah, let's do it.
Spice things up
Let's
on Purple Daily live at the Minnesota State Fair. Before I Die is coming up here from 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock with our friends Jesse Pierce, Leighton Glodek, and Jason Harmon, 3 of the most influential Minnesota sports social media members out there. We're pumped to have them on board. Before we get to this random Viking of the week, Grandpa's Barbecue is helping to power our State Fair appearance today, Dex.
Yeah, any dry rub, sauces. It's barbecue season still here, obviously. So if you're looking to barbecue, and if you're someone like me that likes to grill year-round, no matter what the weather is outside here in the Midwest, go to grandpa'sbarbecueshop.com. Free shipping on orders $50 or more. Plus, locally, you can find them in Fratelloni stores as well. So go to grandpa'sbarbecueshop.com. Stock up on all of those barbecue needs. Dry rub sauces. Plenty to go around. grandpa'sbarbecueshop.com.
And to get the barbecue out of your teeth, talk to our friends at Park Dental. Park Dental, 50 years of caring for and cleaning teeth in Minnesota and western Wisconsin. It was about a year ago and I was without a dentist. I was dentistless in the wilderness, searching around, for someone to clean my teeth and take X-rays and the like. And Park Dental was recommended by coworkers, by some friends, and it's been a great experience. They likely have a location within minutes of wherever you live or work too, so very convenient on that front. And many practices are open at 7 a.m. for pre-work checkups, and most practices also have a day during the week where they're open until 8 p.m. so you can go after work as well, and they accept almost all dental insurance plans. So schedule your checkup at parkdental.com. That's parkdental.com. All right, so Declan has the random Viking of the week here for us, where Judd and I are going to compete against each other in a battle of Vikings historical wits. Whoever loses the previous week gives the clues for this week. So, and we're going to do another one of these, I think, Thursday with Thor maybe in the mix too. So we'll do a double dose of random Viking of the week. We rebooted this a few months ago after doing like 160 random Vikings over a few years. So everyone is back on the board, unless I mistakenly repeat someone like I did on the random twin of the week yesterday. But I have 8 wins. Judd has 7, and Declan has 1.
Yep.
Judd has a 4-game winning streak.
Yep.
Yeah. Chester Taylor, Chris Carter, Stephon Diggs, and Irv Smith Jr., Judd. Nice job by you.
By the way, according to Schefter from 2 hours ago, Ambry Thomas was waived.
He was waived. Okay.
Yep.
So peace out to Ambry Thomas.
Just an update.
So they don't have many guys left in that. They literally have 4 guys in that room right now, I'm pretty sure. So they gotta sign. I'm sure they have an iron in the fire. Or are they just panicking right now? Oh my God!
How can we let him go?
I thought you were keeping him.
It's like the guy in your fantasy league who's like, I'll take so and so. No, he's been gone for.
Is Larry Fitzgerald? He retired.
Yeah.
I have a fantasy draft tonight. Very looking forward to fantasy season. All right, Dex. So you got the random Viking. You're going to throw out a series of clues.
Yeah.
Judd and I shout out answers whenever we think we know. If one of us hits a third incorrect guess, the other one wins automatically. No Googling, but you can look at the previous list of random Vikings.
All right, so first clue here. I'll give you some college statistics.
Oh, wow. College stats.
We're going way back. Okay.
This random Viking was the rookie of the year in his respective conference. I didn't know that.
So rookie of the year, okay.
I didn't know they gave that out, but they did.
Yeah,
okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. 1 year, and by the way, I'm sitting like this from Phil, so he doesn't, just in case he's not peeking over the screen, which I don't think he is. Just
there is an angle here.
There's an angle here. Okay.
He did have a period of cheating.
Yes, that's right. Did he?
False.
You were accused of it by everybody to the point I assumed it was fact.
Yeah, go. Guy rattles off his Vikings knowledge dominance, and he must be cheating.
You got off to such a good start that it was like the steroids.
Yeah.
It was like steroids in baseball. We all finally assumed.
My Connor Stallions helping to relay signals.
Brady Anderson, 50 home runs arbitrarily. That's who you were. Okay.
He also was a second-team member of his conference, and then a third-team member of his conference.
Okay.
So never first team all conference.
Never first team though. Correct.
Okay.
Correct. Second team and a third team in his respective conference. Okay. All right. This random Viking.
Okay.
Has played for 4 teams. I'll rephrase that. Spent time with 4 teams.
Okay.
Spent time with 4 teams.
Okay. So 4 organizations he spent time with doesn't mean he played games for all of them.
That is correct.
Okay, so he's probably a slappy. Okay.
Slappy.
I have a guess, but I don't.
Oh, fire it! Come on, you're at the fair.
Spent time.
These people want you to guess.
Can I guess?
Sure.
Is it Sam Howell?
Sam Howell. Interesting guess.
Oh, let's go! Let's go!
Sam Howell.
Oh, come on!
Sam
Clearly
Howell.
cheating.
Yeah, you saw
Clearly
it.
cheating.
You saw it.
Clearly, review the film.
Wow.
Yep.
Is he
saw
cheating? I see. You pull these fast ones.
I do
where
pull. Yep. This is also a clue.
Let's go.
It's a tell.
Yeah.
It's a tell.
I should have been aware of it.
My poker table. That's what I like to
I
do.
should have been aware of it.
Yeah. Yep.
Uh-huh.
Sam Howell.
No.
Now, what was tripping me up a little there was I thought at one point he must have been first team all conference because he was like a first round pick projected. But
Yeah.
wow. Sam Howell.
What tripped you up
random
is you
Viking.
thought, boy, if I guess right
just
now, will they know I cheated? And then you threw caution to the wind.
No.
I can't wait till the
False.
committee looks into this.
It'll be Judd's turn next week on the
No, we're doing one.
on
In a
Thursday.
couple
We're doing it
days.
on Thursday, too, right?
On
Okay.
Thursday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Send me a
Wow.
reminder.
So
I
Phil
will.
snapped
As
your-
Royce would say, send me a reminder.
Can you send me the list?
Send me that reminder to do that.
Judd's 4-game winning streak has come to an
Sam
end.
Howell. Yeah, a couple of, rushed for 5 touchdowns in the NFL. I was going to say he was drafted ahead of Ty Chandler, which he was in the 2022 draft.
Yeah.
Yeah, we never got to any of those clues, though.
Never did. Phil sniffed it out.
I should have known that you were going to use, because I thought you might use Harrison Phillips.
Oh, that's
So
funny.
I should have known.
There's a gentleman here who looks like Harrison Phillips.
Which guy?
Yeah.
Oh, kind of.
Yeah, you do sort of
Has
look like
anyone ever
Harrison
told you
Phillips.
you look like Harrison Phillips?
The guy in the Gopher shirt.
Yeah,
kinda
you
does.
do.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about the guy in the Muskies jersey?
I just pointed that guy out. That's
Oh,
great.
that's- yeah.
And a
I mean,
great
that's-
stash,
yeah,
too.
And a great stash.
Is that Kevin Love or
Yeah, so
Rubio?
actually it's Kevin
Rubio.
Love. Yeah.
Rubio. That's a great jersey.
Oh, the
Peck.
Actually, you know
Well-
what? We can kind of do impromptu feedback Friday on a Tuesday here. If you have questions for the show or takes about the Vikings, that mic is open. Yeah, you want to come on up?
You can, yeah, absolutely.
Anyone who has anything for the show. And we'll get to, by the way, Drew McGarry, our friend and our group text thread friend from Defector. He has come out with the Why Your Team Sucks article series. He's a diehard Vikings fan.
Yep.
And it is behind a paywall, so I don't want to read the whole thing, but there's a couple funny
No, steal the
excerpts that
journalism.
we can read there. Yeah, what's your name and what are your thoughts?
Hi,
Yeah, pull that down there, sir.
my name is Travis Westcore. I actually work at US Bank Stadium.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I wanted to ask you a trivia question.
Oh boy.
So my question for you is, it's a 2-part question, either way you answer. True or false? Has every NFL team played at US Bank Stadium at least once?
Ooh.
I think so.
2017.
16.
Probably,
16,
right?
16,
Because they've
yeah.
all rotated. Well, no, but they haven't rotated through home and away.
Have they?
Well, okay, here's the problem,
16,
too.
17, 18, 19.
Here's the problem, too. The Europe games.
Yeah.
Have they have the
Yeah.
Europe games?
It's a no. It's
I'm
got
gonna
to
go
be a
with
no.
false.
So, I want to steer you in the right direction, otherwise we're not getting anywhere. They've actually all been there.
Oh, they have.
Okay.
So the second part to that question is, who was the final team? And I have one more question, if that's okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're good.
The final team to play at US Bank.
For the first time.
Yeah.
First
Keep in
time.
mind, if the team switch states, that still counts because they're the same organization.
That's a clue, right?
Or is that just
No,
throwing
that's
us off
not
the
a
scent?
hint. I'm
Yeah.
just-
He's throwing
I
us
don't
off
know.
the scent. The Raiders?
I was going to say Vegas Raiders.
The Raiders, right? No?
Raiders?
Okay.
No.
I don't know.
I think we're
I have
stumped.
a hint. The quarterback for this team, when he was a child, his dad played baseball for the Twins.
Oh, the Chiefs.
It is.
The Chiefs.
Okay,
Pat
cool.
Mahomes. Pat Mahomes. That's
good.
All right.
That's great.
Love it.
Yeah.
So I have one final question
Yeah.
for you. Can you guys name the single NFL team where if you were to write down just the names of the teams, not the city or the state, all the letters that make up the name are in alphabetical order?
Oh, man.
I've seen this on TikTok. No,
No, I have no idea.
I've seen this on TikTok.
I want you to sit here the
All right,
rest of the
Dex.
week and just ask us amazing questions. Like this is incredible.
But the 49ers don't count.
49ers don't count. No, I've seen this
So
on
it
TikTok.
doesn't necessarily have to be one of the A teams. Like Atlanta, no. Arizona.
Yeah, I don't know.
Just the team name.
The name, not the city or the state. The name.
Oh, the name of the
mascot,
team. Got it.
mascot,
Okay.
or, you know,
Okay.
the nickname.
Bears.
So.
I have a hint if you want.
Hold
Hold
on.
Oh, I got it. No. L's before. I's before. I was
Declan's
gonna say.
like, wait, Vikings.
I
No.
was gonna say Lions,
No,
but
I-
I is before L.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Giants.
Eagles, no.
Jets, no. J's
Giants.
before E.
Giants? ST.
No.
No, it's ST.
No.
I have a hint if you
Commanders.
want.
Okay, give us the hint.
Okay.
There are some very famous people who are on these items in real life. famous people like George Washington is on one of them.
Oh, the Buffalo Bills.
It is.
The Buffalo Bills.
Okay.
Nobody circles the wagons
And they got
in alphabetical order.
LL advantage.
Thank you, man.
Yeah. Dude, round of applause.
Great
Good
job.
stuff, man.
Great
Thank
job.
you.
Great job. Yeah, there's like, I see one on TikTok.
Good luck beating that, but that microphone is open
Yeah.
for anyone.
Glad you saw this on TikTok
Yeah.
and then couldn't remember it
Yeah,
for
no,
us.
my bad. Yeah, my bad.
Declan's like, oh,
I've
I
seen
got
this.
it. I've
I
seen it on
know this.
TikTok.
Oh, it's the Titans. Damn it. No. Spelling. Yeah, what's your name and what's your feedback Friday on a Tuesday?
Yeah, so my name is Sterling. I listen to you guys every day.
Thank you.
Thank you, man.
I just have a bold prediction for the season.
Oh.
And this actually goes with the emailer's hot take that happened earlier.
Okay.
All right, so we're going to start with they're going to go undefeated in the postseason, obviously.
Oh.
Going
So
to the
that could
Super
be if
Bowl.
they miss the playoffs.
Playoffs.
Technically, you'd backdoor that. If this
Yeah.
If this is a write that down prediction, yeah.
Right. They're going to wait. Hold on a second. Here we are. They're going to sweep the AFC North.
Yeah.
They're going to lose to all non-NFC North teams. So that's going to be
Like, so the NFC North. Wait.
okay. So they're going to sweep the AFC North.
Okay.
Everyone not in the NFC North, they're going to lose to, and then they're going to sweep the NFC North, and
So
that's
they're
going to bring
go
them
4-0. That gets them to
10-7.
10-7.
Yeah.
So they're going to win only games against the Northern Division team.
Yes.
And then lose all the rest to be 10-7. And then that gets them into the playoffs.
That gets them to the playoffs.
So then you're predicting that they win the Super Bowl.
Well, yeah, obviously.
Right?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
If that happens, you get to write that down touchdown point, sir.
The gears in my brain
I was going to say,
trying to
By
figure
the way,
out.
I want to see Declan log that into the spreadsheet.
you think they're going
is
to
what-
lose to the Falcons at home in the opener? You think they're going to lose that game?
It's
yes,
like
he does. He just
I
said
know, I
that.
know.
Yeah.
There's
know.
sometimes write that down too, where like they're giving the prediction and 25% of the way, and I'm like, I give up, and I'll go back and listen to it, and I'll put the note in. Then you've seen it a couple times.
Last
Go
week,
back
Declan's
and
like-
listen.
Note to self.
Go back and listen.
Yeah, what's your name?
My name's Jackson. My question for you guys is, what would you set as an over-under for JJ McCarthy rushing touchdowns? How much do you think he'll really be scrambling, running? What would you set the over-under at?
All right, I'll Google this after we take a guess here, because I bet there is probably like a fantasy prop or some type of prop on it.
Sure.
I would say 4.5.
You'd set the yeah.
What was?
well,
How
I
many did
feel-
Darnold have last year?
Darnold.
For reference.
well, the team only had like 9 rushing touchdowns.
Yeah. I would put it at 3.5 because
3.5,
I think Jordan Mason's going to run the ball in a lot more. And I think McCarthy will run for sure. I don't know if he'll run for touchdowns. I'd say 3.5.
These would be
Thor
there's-
questions.
Well, yeah, Thor has it set at 11.5, and that includes the 39.5 over/under for passing
That's
touchdowns
week 1.
too.
That's right.
Just for week 1.
That's just
yeah.
for week 1 with Thor.
Yeah. So Sam Darnold only had 1 rushing touchdown last year.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, obviously there's the quarterback sneak way to get in. I think I would say 3.5, and I might take the over because I think there's going to be times where you're at the 8-yard line and he first read sees it and then runs it in that form too. So
they don't have the rushing touchdown total, but DraftSharks.com. DraftSharks.com
Wow.
has a projection for fantasy football for JJ McCarthy this year. I feel like if he did this would be a smashing success.
Okay.
4,181 yards passing, 27.8 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, 255 rushing yards. There's no rushing touchdown prop. That would project him to be about the 22nd best fantasy football quarterback in PPR.
but the 9th best real quarterback
Back in
terms
the
of
NFL.
winning and
That's right.
influence on winning, right? Yeah.
But a
Thank
good
you guys.
question.
Awesome.
Good question.
Yeah,
stuff.
thank you, man.
Great
Thank you,
jersey
man.
again, too, man.
Yeah, come on up.
Okay, my name is Steve Marchiafava, and I have a stumper for you.
Oh, this
Oh, this is
great.
more
Okay.
trivia.
I
This is
love this.
phenomenal.
Yeah, let's fire this
What
up.
NFL player, the only NFL player, had his finger amputated
Ronnie Lott.
at halftime
Oh, my God.
or final?
Was it? I mean, Ronnie Lott had like a pinky or
Yeah,
something.
he
right?
had the tip of his finger amputated.
Was it at halftime or after the game?
Does the 4th
It
of
was
July
during
count?
the game. It It was like at halftime because he said.
That's what everybody thinks. It's during the game, but it was after the game when he had it at the game.
Oh, so he's not as tough as people think he is.
Exactly.
I thought he told him to cut it off at halftime. Because he just.
I love the halftime story.
You know, these old football stories, like Jack Youngblood played a Super Bowl with was it Youngblood or Lambert?
Youngblood.
Youngblood?
Yeah, the Rams.
He didn't play a Super Bowl with a broken leg.
Oh, it's a non-weight-bearing bone.
Okay.
It's a non-weight-bearing bone. It's not that hard.
People make it sound like he had a compound fracture and was bleeding out on the turf of the Super Bowl.
You know what?
These players these days are...
Respect the 70s, okay? Shag carpet and tough football players.
Bleeding everywhere. Yeah, what's your name?
Hi, I'm Cody. I got two for you.
What's up, Cody?
Is it official Carson Wentz? And is it official he's ready to rate purple?
Carson Wentz is official. Yes.
11, right? Number 11.
Ready to rate purple.
Yep. And he's on the roster
Number
right
11?
now.
Number 11. I think I saw.
Number 11, yep.
Yeah.
It's available.
Hi, I'm Steve Tersch. You
Steve.
spoke of people like myself here yesterday. I was there for those 4 early Super Bowl losses when the Vikings were known as the best-known, second-best team. I just want to say I'm looking for a change either this year or next.
Yeah. Amen, Steve.
Thanks,
Amen.
Hey, Steve, come back a second. Which of the Super Bowl, because I don't recall them, I was like 7 when they lost the last one of the 4. Which of the ones was the toughest after the Chiefs one? I know that the Chiefs one was, but of those next 3, which
they
was
were all heartbreakers. Unlike a player on the Vikings, I was there until the last second was off the clock.
Okay.
There was one player in particular that seemed to leave a little early. I think he took it harder than I even.
All right. Fair enough. Thank you.
Love it, man. Yeah, it is incredible that they haven't been back. They've been.
I know.
You know, it's like if you're the Browns or some of the Jets, where you are just so far away from playoff contention for years.
Yeah.
The fact that the Vikings have one of the best records of any team since the 1960s, and they haven't been back to a Super Bowl since the late 70s is just as wild as not having won one in the franchise's history.
And if you look at it too, the season that people forget about because the record's not that good because of the strike, that 87 team where they lost on the Darren Nelson drop, that was a hell of a team. Like that's among, it's funny because I think there's a lot of people that are too young to recall that one, and 98 started the steam of the team being, its fan base being re-engaged, but that 87 loss to Washington was a heartbreaker.
That's another, let's bookmark that for an off-season list next summer. We'd love to rank things in the summer. Most underrated or under-talked about Vikings teams in franchise
We'll
history.
be celebrating the World Championship.
All summer long.
All summer long, so we won't need to do that.
Obviously, yeah.
All right, my name is Zach. I want to have a Kwesi discussion. So Kwesi's like an A+ to A- on a lot of the key things a GM needs to do, from free agency, re-signing players, UDFAs, but he's got this big kind of D- on his report card. And my discussion is, like, most people kind of fans tend to talk about him in the sense that he's like this C- or below type of GM, but I kind of think he's more higher than that.
Yeah.
What is it going to take for the fans that perceive Kwesi as a higher tier GM than I think they do right now?
Well,
because it's not the results on the field, because they've been so good on the field. What is it going to take?
Yeah, that's the thing. Love this question. And actually, I saw you were talking in the back earlier about the 16 draft picks between, is it 22 and 23?
Yep, 16 total.
That we're looking at 3 left out of the 16.
When Chandler's gone. If Chandler's gone tonight, it's 3. It's 4 right now.
He's basically gone.
I agree.
In terms of an impact player. Mm-hmm. So you're left with Jay Ward and Jalen Naylor?
Jalen Naylor, Jay Ward, and Jordan Addison.
Jordan Addison, yeah. So you've got, if you were to sort of break down the ways that you can succeed or not as a GM, drafting is the most publicly visible, right? Because you can see that GM drafted Lewis Cine, traded back to finagle a way to get Lewis Cine. But the other areas, which is just generally build a structure and a culture that can produce wins, hiring the right people, the right systems in place for scouting and behind-the-scenes stuff. Well, it's produced 13 and 14 win teams, and the one year that they missed the playoffs in the 3 years of Kwesi, the starting quarterback got hurt when they were 4-4 and went down for the year, and you're left with backups, and it kind of train wrecked. But then there's also like salary cap management. What he did to take some muddy books with old veteran players and bad contracts and void years and Kirk Cousins and clean that up to be able to have the free agent classes they did the last 2 years with Grenard and Van Ginkel and Jonathan Allen, Hargrave, all these guys, Byron Murphy a couple years ago. So he's been great at a couple of those things. But he really, at some point, like if you whiff on Dallas Turner and JJ McCarthy, what are we doing draft-wise here, right?
Right.
McCarthy being the biggest one.
Yeah. I will say this. It doesn't make up for it, but part of what they get credit for as well is the undrafted free agent fines have been really, really good. So, I mean, I think the way that the Vikings are run, yes, those drafts are very disappointing, but the way that the Vikings have been run with Kwesi and O'Connell in charge has been pretty damn good. And you can't take away from the fact that they have won double-digit games 2 of the 3 years. And quite frankly, I think they probably make the playoffs. As bad as the start was with Kirk, the year he got hurt, they probably make the playoffs that season if he does not get hurt. Obviously, he did. So there's a lot to like here, too. And I do think, as we start to look, the 2024 draft improves there. We'll find out more about that. So, yeah, there are teams that have a lot worse problems and a lot more incompetence than like there's a problem here. Mm-hmm. And 22, I still would like to know at the end of the day who was doing what. I hate the fact that Kwesi traded back, and I put that on him. But you had that, he got the job in February, right? Or late January. He inherited some of the scouting staff. Probably part of their biggest mistake was Ed Donatel being hired as the DC. Yeah. Like, wouldn't you like to know? Because Kwesi's not a football guy. He didn't say, you know who I want? Who's that, Kwesi? Lewis Seen. Like, somebody's like, this guy can play.
Yeah.
So I would like to know the answer to those questions. We will never, of course, find out.
Yeah. I think but there's also, you're not going to bat 1,000 on your decisions. So there's been some good evidence of you make a mistake. Do you stubbornly stick to it and cling to it, or do you move off of it? And with Ed Donatel, whether it was driven by Kwesi or Kevin O'Connell, Kevin O'Connell was coaching a Super Bowl winning team that year into the second week in February and had a month less time than some of the other coaches to put together a staff before draft. So it's like they rushed the process. They got to Donatel. It didn't work. All right, let's not be stubborn. Let's move off.
Right.
And get to a better solution there. Sam Howell. All right, you bring him in for almost nothing. Let's not be stubborn.
Yeah.
Move off, and they actually got value for him, and then you bring in Carson Wentz. So I think the ability to, when you do make a mistake, to not be stubborn and cling to it and stick to it, Kwesi and the rest of the Vikings leadership, Kevin O'Connell, have shown that they can be nimble and get off a bad decision.
Mm-hmm. I think the 2024 class could really skyrocket his view among the fans because, JJ McCarthy, Dallas Turner, Levi Drake Rodriguez, Will Reichard, and we have 2 maybe quality backup offensive linemen. That's like a huge win in the NFL. So maybe that could help them.
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah. If those 2 first-round picks pan out, we're going to talk a lot less about 22 and 23. You're right.
Yeah, especially the quarterback. If you nail the franchise quarterback for 8 to 10 years,
a lot of forgiveness.
It makes up for a lot of that because there's actually some good teams right now in the league that have gone through some bad drafting spells. The 49ers, if you look at some of their drafts in and out of the last 5 or 6 years, the Patriots for a long time, even as they were winning big.
Belichick had some bad drafts.
Dude, it showed you how Tom Brady was really holding together some mediocre rosters there at the very end.
And Trey, it's funny to go back to your point about San Francisco. We don't talk a lot about Trey Lance because Brock Purdy came in the 7th round and was a godsend. But if Brock Purdy doesn't come along, is that Sam Darnold there? There's a lot of questions. But the Trey Lance miss isn't just a slight miss. You traded up a lot to the 3rd pick to get him, and he was a complete bust.
Yeah. We got about 10 or 12 minutes, 10, 15 minutes left here on Purple Daily, live from the Minnesota State Fair. And then at the top of the 2 o'clock hour for the live audience, both on YouTube and in person here at the State Fair, Before I Die with Jesse, Leighton, and Jason are going to be up here. 3 of the biggest Vikings fans in town and do a great job on that show every single week. So stick around for that too. We do want to get to a snippet or a reading from Drew McGarry, friend of the show, his annual Why Your Team Sucks article on Defector.com. He's a diehard Vikings fan. Basically, I'll read you a couple things from this. But, Judd, one of your favorite events is coming up later this year. You're rocking the World Juniors hat here as well.
Right there.
The World Juniors coming to town.
Yeah, in my opinion, this is the best annual tournament in all of sports. It's the World Junior Hockey Championships. It's going to be at both Grand Casino Arena and 3M at Mariucci from December 26th, which is Boxing Day, to January 5th, 2026. This tournament features basically the best of the best. It is future stars from various countries. The first time, for instance, that Crosby and Ovechkin faced off was not in the National Hockey League. It was in this tournament. Right now, if you want the U.S. team is going to be playing exclusively there. There is a 4-game mini pack that will allow you to see all 4 USA preliminary round games at Grand Casino again. And that includes priority access to medal round packages, so you can secure the best seats when they do go on sale. 1 seat for all the action. WorldJuniorsMN26.com for ticket information. World Juniors, plural, MN26.com. This tournament hasn't been here since 1982, and it comes around very rarely. But when it does, if you are a hockey fan, this is the tournament to see. There's no question about it. WorldJuniorsMN26.com.
Also, a shout out to Northern Soda Company for supplying our Score North merchandise bags at the State Fair this year. Right around the corner for the live audience, we got our merch booth over here where you can get Score North and Purple Daily related shirts and hoodies and hats. Your Judd's Camp notes, notebooks here that the Judd's been signing all week long too. Pretty
glad
awesome.
to sign it.
So grab one of those bags courtesy of Northern Soda Company when you visit the Score North merchandise stand, and a full schedule for the rest of the week. Score North at the fair and Purple Daily at the fair at scorenorth.com/fair. That's scorenorth.com/fair. And then we will, before we say goodbye we will update you if you're just kind of jumping into the live stream or you're jumping in here at the State Fair in front of us on the latest, some of the Vikings roster rumblings. But every year, Drew McGarry, formerly of Deadspin and now at Defector, he puts together 32 different articles why your team sucks in the NFL. And it's great. It's, he's poking at all the different teams, but he is a longtime diehard Vikings fan. He made his first appearance on Purple Daily earlier this summer. It was great. We're hoping to get him on again sometime soon. And so this article is behind a paywall, so I don't want to disrespect the sanctity of Defector and why your team sucks. I'm not going to read the whole thing. Check it out. But I want to read two paragraphs.
Thousands of words. You can't read the whole thing.
It is like 2,000 words.
Go till 6 p.m. if you read the whole thing.
So, but he really, I think, hits on the spirit of being a Vikings fan here. He says, I am a Vikings fan who thought that the 14-3 record last year officially made his team a Super Bowl contender. I did. Who bought all the way into Sam Darnold, texting his buddies he really might be the guy? Me. Who complained that the refs cost the Vikings that Thursday night game against the Rams, even though they had no shot of actually winning that game either way? Me again. Yeah, they were down by 8.
Yep.
Right?
Yes.
They would have had to go all the way down the field.
Darnold got face masked.
95 yards.
Yeah.
And then hit the 2-point conversion and then win in overtime. Who, dear reader, went into Week 18 fully convinced that his team would wrap up the number 1 seed against a Lions team that we'd already lost to? And who thought the Vikings' wildcard game against L.A. was a layup because the Rams had been forced out of their own stadium by a ravaging wildfire? Me. I may as well live in a bleeping dunk tank. I'm a hair away from 50 years old. I'm running out of time to see the Vikings win the NFC, much less the Super Bowl. So when I tell you this is finally our time, it's just me trying to deny the Reaper lurking over in the corner, ready to take me out as surely as he'll take out JJ McCarthy's other meniscus. I'm too dumb to recognize that my entire life as a Vikings fan has been a sunk cost, and I'll only smarten up once I'm in the dirt. Bleep me, maybe I should start drinking again.
First of all,
Drew McGarry.
It's not a complete waste of time. There's a lot of ups.
That's right.
There's just some downs. And one of these years, they're going to break through.
Yeah.
Now, he's a little bit, going into that, as I recall, going into the Detroit game in the regular season finale last year, that certainly did not seem like a slam dunk to our show. That was going to be a tough game. But I will say, the one thing, Darnold played great. It was a great season for the most part, not all the time. But I never drank all of the Darnold Kool-Aid. Like,
I don't know
really
how you
impressed.
could drink every last
There were
drop
people that
of
did.
it, right?
I was told by people this is the franchise guy. They should just stick with him. And I'm like, it's a great year.
Yeah.
What scared me was the Jets and then that Jaguars terrible performance. And I'm like, okay, if you're capable of doing that, that's really, really bad.
Yeah.
And then the Detroit game was atrocious. I'll defend him. I'll still defend him. He got sacked 9 times by the Rams. Not all the offensive line's fault, but they got their butts kicked there. But that's why I am so much more optimistic this year as we begin the JJ McCarthy era.
Yeah. Wow.
Right there. JJ McCarthy. Here they go. Right there, folks.
Is there, okay, let me, on the Darnold front, just for fun, because I see a lot of Darnold positivity from Seahawks media land and whatnot. Is there anything that could happen this year? Let's say, hypothetically, all right, just to play out all the scenarios.
Sure.
JJ gets off to a little bit of a shaky first month and a half, first time starting in the NFL.
Sure.
And Darnold is putting up ridiculous productivity in a different environment, just like he did with the Vikings. It's sustainable. Darnold is sustainably good outside of the Kevin O'Connell infrastructure.
Sure.
How would you feel in like week 6 if, wow, Darnold is 3rd in the league in passing, the Seahawks are leading the division,
People are piling on.
JJ McCarthy has 5 interceptions, and how would you feel?
I would feel like, interesting. It would more depend on how McCarthy looks. So if McCarthy plays and it's clear he was not prepared to play, I think that's a bigger problem. But it depends on how's the team playing.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if Darnold has a productive year, too. Do I think he's going to go great guns? No. But so let's say it's 6 weeks of Darnold playing well. You know it's around the corner. The boogeyman's around the corner. You know what's going to happen in week 9. He's going to fall. He's going to go through a game like he did in Jacksonville. Like, that's the thing is, do I ever think that Sam Darnold is going to put together a complete season where he doesn't self-destruct a few times, maybe in the most important times necessary? No. I think that's part of the ride. And that's my thing is, I want off those rides, damn it. I want a ride that's more secure than anything I'm seeing in the Midway right now.
So you don't want like that ride.
No.
You'd rather just this ride right here.
Exactly. Where I can see the sights and it's pretty, it's nice.
Looks fairly stable.
Those people are being thrown around. They're on the Sam Darnold experience, which for the most part is fine, but a couple people are going to throw up, and I don't want to be part of that.
That's like the second half of the Jacksonville game right there is what's happening.
Whoa. Exactly right. I mean, how do you do that?
Jets game.
I mean, how do you do that? Why do you want to do that?
$1,000 if you go on it.
No. I'm not going on for anything.
$10,000.
Well, if you had $10,000.
No, but like if some, I don't have it.
Are you offering?
If someone offered you $10,000, would you go on? Is my point. I would think I'd do it for $1,000.
What are you really worried about on that ride?
Just look at.
You're not going to die.
You sure about
that?
Very
slim chance.
You sure about that?
I guess heart attack would be in play potentially.
Probably.
I don't know.
Mild
I don't know.
heart attack.
But anyway, on Darnold, I wouldn't be surprised if he gets off to a good start. I also don't think he's going to. I don't think he's going to win when it matters most, and I think that's sort of what they came to the conclusion of.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was certainly the right decision. It's funny how things kind of shift and evolve in the NFL, and so there is a world in which a young quarterback doesn't quite have his footing early. It doesn't mean that if McCarthy gets off to a bad start, that his career is somehow in shambles.
No.
But there is a world in which Sam Darnold plays really well in the first 6 to 8 months. Now, keep in mind, paying Sam Darnold the $33 million a year versus the $5 million or $8 million that McCarthy makes.
Right.
I mean, that extra money left over, and it's a little more complicated than that because there's kind of a shell game of NFL finances, but that extra money allowed you potentially, let's say, Hargrave and/or Allen to make your defense better, or an upgrade at center with Ryan Kelly or Will Fries. So it would be Darnold with fewer resources to make your trenches better.
If you're calling on McCarthy to the point of where you feel he has to win you games, I think you are mismanaging the game. So, you didn't build the interior of your offensive line. You didn't go get Jordan Mason to complement Aaron Jones, not to use them. So if we've got a situation where they're playing from behind consistently and now he's trying to drive the ball downfield and it's getting picked off, something's gone wrong that goes beyond JJ McCarthy.
Reckless speculation.
Adam Thielen Watch 2025 update.
What do we got
for you guys?
What do we got?
So we gave you the Adam Schefter nugget from the McAfee show like an hour ago. His sources are telling him. So Shefty said the Vikings have tried to trade for Adam Thielen, but up until now it doesn't look like it's going to happen. They'd love to have Thielen, but maybe they pivot to signing KJ Osborne, who you could just sign for nothing.
Sure.
Are you familiar with Ricky Scoops on Twitter?
Yes.
Ricky Scoops.
I know Ricky Scoops.
Ricky Scoops has been right about some stuff, right?
Yeah, he's gotten some stuff right. Yep.
I don't know what Ricky's background is, but he's got like 50,000 followers, and he's definitely been right about some stuff when he's floated stuff.
Yep.
Ricky Scoops tweets, the Vikings leaked this info to Shefty because talks with the Panthers have stalled over trade compensation. The Vikings are hoping Carolina lowers its price. Both teams and Adam Thielen, so both the Panthers, Vikings, and Adam Thielen want to get this trade done. From Ricky Scoops.
Right. Makes perfect sense.
Speculation.
And I saw that it just came across the wire that Hunter Renfrow was let go by Carolina. So there's a receiver out there. You know what? I get it, but as we talked about before, if you're the Panthers, you're probably going to drive a hard bargain because you see him as a pretty good receiver room / locker room guy. And the Vikings, I cannot believe a team would leak information, though. You think to Shefty?
To leverage their situation?
I can't believe it.
How would you feel about, here's some more receiver news here. The Seahawks just released two-time Super Bowl champion Marquez Valdez-Scantling.
No, I'm good.
MVS, no thanks.
I'm good.
He once averaged 21 yards per reception with the Green Bay Packers.
And 21 drops per
game. Yeah, I was going to say, what are the drops like? That guy cost Pat Mahomes, was that 2 years ago now?
Oh, God.
He was Mahomes is like, it's a gift of God in your hands, and you're like, oh, God.
I thought that was, who was the other guy?
There was a couple, I think, there.
Kadarius Toney.
Yeah, that's a different one.
I think he's available, too, if you really get desperate.
But as I recall, Marquez Valdez-Scantling has really good speed, and so he would beat the corner, and it would be like, okay, he's off to the races, Mahomes' perfect ball, and he would just drop it.
If Troy Williamson was the George Washington of bobbling beautiful thrown passes like he did in Denver at the end of 07.
He didn't even bobble.
He didn't bobble him through his hands.
That is your Abraham Lincoln, I think, on your Mount Rushmore.
That'd be a fun Mount Rushmore. Mount Rushmore of
drops.
Receivers likely to drop a beautifully thrown pass.
Yeah, I have zero interest in Marquez Valdez-Scantling.
Any other final words of SportsDad wisdom here on this Tuesday before we give way to the Before I Die crew here on the Score North Minnesota Rusco podcast?
2 wide receivers, including one to return punts. At least one corner, if not two. I think that if we see a trade that is substantial, I think it might be for a cornerback, not a receiver. I think they'll pick a receiver up or two. And but the issue is they've got time now. So I could see them doing final cuts, and about 3 or 4 guys make the roster, and they're like, oh, I'm going to go out and party, celebrate. I made the Vikings roster, and tomorrow they're hungover, their phone rings, they're like, who is this? Hey, it's crazy. We had to let you go.
Sorry, you pack your stuff and leave your tablet because that's private information.
That's a question I've got now. So since the playbooks, or I don't know what they're called now.
They're tablets.
Okay, so they're on a tablet. You don't have to turn them in, or they can disable them.
They can break it. Yeah, they can break it remotely. You're supposed to turn it in because it's like $1,000.
Sure, but I'm just saying it used to be if the Vikings cut like 2 guys tomorrow or something, that the Bears would call them. Hey, you want to join our practice squad? And hey, bring along your playbook.
Yeah.
Now that's
gone. Like your paper. It is. Yeah, it is a little. It's less dangerous because you don't have these paper playbooks laying around in different places. Yeah, but Jeremiah and Alex have talked about this, where there's been times where guys will leave their tablet in a hotel room on accident or something.
Yep.
And then their IT people can just brick it remotely and wipe the stuff. I think it's all cloud-based. I don't know.
Okay.
But, yeah.
That'd be a heck of a hack, wouldn't it?
Yeah, you could hack into someone's tablet. Yeah.
What if the Packers hired someone to hack into the Viking stuff?
Well, maybe they should, because they clearly have a problem beating the Vikings the last couple years in the division.
This is true.
Or beating anyone, quite frankly, in the division.
Anyway, that's all Sports Stats got.
Yeah. All right. That's a wrap on Purple Daily here today from the Minnesota State Fair. We appreciate you all hanging out with us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And those of you live on the Purple Daily YouTube channel, click that like button, the subscribe button. We're almost to 60,000 subscribers. And coming up shortly, new stream for YouTube. In about 5 minutes here, the Before I Die crew, our friends Jesse, Leighton, and Jason up here, basically taking you up to the cut day deadline at 3 o'clock. We just want the Vikings to win a Super Bowl before we die. We'll see you tomorrow at the Minnesota State Fair.